Hi. Before we get started on Module 3, just a couple quick things. In the instructor notes, I wanted to show you that I put a link up for the responses that you all gave me for the digital assessment tools that you used when you created the formative assessments. It was just fun to read these and see what people chose to do, and I thought it'd be helpful information for you as well. So the link is there. It was really fun, especially when people use something that was a really good fit for them or for the situation, and they expect to use it in the future. So I enjoyed reading that, and I thought you might too. So you can find that in the instructor notes. Then secondly, I am not meaning to throw Team 4 under the bus at all. You've probably already chosen your 3 instructional strategies, but I just need someone to quickly go onto the spreadsheet and document which 3 of those are going to be covered for your team. So to find that, you'll have to go back to Module 2, and it's this link right here, the Instructional Strategies Sign Up. So if somebody could take care of that, that would be great. Okay, now Module 3. So Module 3 is basically 3 parts. You'll have the readings from Tomlinson, you'll have your team project, and you'll have your own individual child study project. So the Tomlinson readings are pretty straightforward. You'll read the chapters 7 and 8 and then answer one of the questions on the discussion board. Your team project is about to start, and this will be really fun, but it is a lot. Here's the explanation of it. We're at Module 3, and you're going to start off with meeting with your team and deciding which of the 3 strategies that you signed up for over here, which of those 3 you are going to start with this week. Then you're going to want to become a bit of an expert on that strategy, reading Tomlinson, doing some additional research as necessary so you feel like you've got a really good handle on what it is. And then you're going to decide which technology tools you're going to use, tool or tools you're going to use to teach that. So I do have a presentation you can take a look at that might be a nice starting point, where it has the different instructional strategies, and then under technology tools, some possibilities for technology tools that you can use to address those strategies. So it's a nice starting point. You can definitely veer off on your own, but that's a place to start. So everybody in the team is going to be doing that this week. You're going to put into practice what you're learning. Couple of things that I'm anticipating questions on. No, you don't need to do this in each of your classes. That just seems unrealistic to me. If you can, do it with the student that you are the students of exceptionality that you are choosing to do for your project. If they're in that class, that would be great. But sometimes they're absent, sometimes they get pulled for things, sometimes technology doesn't work that hour. Real life happens, I understand that. So just do the best you can, but the goal is that they will be receiving these instructional strategies. It's the purpose of this project. Speaking of the project, when you're working on this, keep in mind that the goal of this is that it's going to be a resource for all of us. So let's say right now you have a student who's on the autism spectrum, and that's what you're focusing on for your project. But later on you might have a student who has mental health issues or is very gifted, and you recall that one of your classmates from this course had those students and they were focusing on that for their project. Well, then you can go back to each of these digital portfolios or repositories or whatever you want to call them, and find what strategies that were used and what technology tools were used, and maybe that will be helpful for you in your teaching, with your classrooms. So as you're creating these, you want them to be as complete as possible with your definitions, with your examples, with the research that you do. Just be as clear and user-friendly as you possibly can. So it's all lined up. It's all laid out pretty well in this the Learning Team Instructional Strategies project under Module 3. But please, of course, let me know if you've got any questions on it. So after you have done the strategy in your classroom, you come back together with your team, debrief a bit, and then figure out how you're going to put it into your project and do that. And then you're going to create a link and post the link into the discussion board so we can follow your progress, each other's progress, and learn from it. So it's a lot to do in 1 week. I understand that. And then you're not done. There's also the child study project. So you can find this quickly under the critical course resources for the child study project. So for module 3, there's 2 parts to that. You'll be doing your additional reading in addition to Tomlinson. You will have chosen to either read articles or read a book. So if you go the route of the articles, you will need to choose 3 scholarly articles. Choose one of those, read it, and summarize it and post it on the discussion board. If you decide to go the route of a book, probably chunk it into 3 pieces, read the first part, summarize it, and post it on the discussion board. So that will be the first part. That's this part here for module 3. And you'll do that for the next 3 weeks. For the second part of that, you're going to basically start the paper trail for your child study student. You're going to look at test scores. There's always lots of test scores to be found. Look at growth, look at proficiency. If they are receiving any support services, find that information, what has been done, what accommodations need to be made for them, anything like that. And anything you can possibly find out about their home life, their school background, if they're transient, maybe where they have gone to school before, if it's out of state, any of that kind of information, just to give a more well-rounded picture of who this student is as a person. If you look ahead at Module 4, you'll be doing an interview of a key player in the student's education. And if this blends together, that is fine. If you do the interview this week and do more of the paper trail next week, that's fine too. But just know that you're going to need to do both of those things, as well as interviewing the student. Whew. It's a lot. It is a lot. When you just look at it over here, it looks so simple, doesn't it? So there's a lot to do. So the best advice I have for you is to stay on top of it, ask questions sooner rather than later. Really good communication with your teams. That's really very, very important. And stay healthy. There is no time for getting sick. So I look forward to seeing your progress this week. Again, let me know if you've got any questions, and good luck.